Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something pretty incredible, the GNT, or Give and Take system, along with the visionary blueprint behind the Hall of Fame. We're going to look at exactly how this ecosystem fuses cutting-edge smart technology with deep community-driven leadership to generate actual real-world economic independence.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Before we get lost in the smart contracts and the math, we really need to understand the beating heart of this project. You see, the source material defines the Hall of Fame not as a business, but as a destiny community helping ordinary people with an earnest desire achieve economic independence through a moving walkway system. It's such a beautifully human philosophical mission statement, right? And it actually serves as the absolute foundation for every single piece of code we're about to explore.
All right, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're hitting 5 main points: the philosophical foundation, transparency and safety, the 7-stage roadmap, leadership mechanics, and finally, noblesse oblige. Let's get right to it. Starting off with Section 1, the philosophical foundation. As I mentioned, the GNT project didn't just start with some random code. It started with a vision. The tech is basically just the vehicle used to realize the Hall of Fame's core philosophy of a virtuous cycle of altruism. The metaphors driving this whole project are honestly so powerful. The system is designed to solve wealth polarization by acting as a moving walkway. Think about what a moving walkway at an airport does, right? It carries you forward steadily. You don't have to sprint, you literally just have to step onto it. And what powers it? The priming water of mutual giving and taking. In an era where tech is constantly displacing jobs, this system uses the incredibly simple act of giving to a matrix above you and receiving from the matrix below you to create automated, community-driven wealth.
But, a philosophy is only as good as the trust it commands. That brings us to Section 2, transparency and safety.
Look, we've all heard the horror stories about centralized platforms, right? They hold your funds centrally, they mysteriously delay your withdrawals, and they carry that terrifying risk of exit scams where operators just pack up and disappear. GNT throws all of that right out the window with its smart contract. Built entirely on the Binance Smart Chain, it is 100% transparent. There is zero central vaults. When an upgrade fee is paid, 10% is automatically, and I mean instantly, distributed to the wallets of the 10-tier matrix above. No withdrawal requests, no delays whatsoever. It's a completely trustless, real-time solution. But here's the big question. What happens if the coin gets too expensive? This is the classic last man problem in crypto, where early adopters win big and latecomers just get entirely priced out. Well, the GNT system solves this with something called dynamic scaling. Think of it as the ultimate safety net. As the price of the WOORI coin rises, the system dynamically reduces the actual volume of coins you need to enter. That means the initial entry cost stays completely affordable, basically guaranteeing a continuous flow of new participants and unbroken growth. Now, what's really fascinating is how dynamic scaling anchors this massive, super sophisticated economic engine to a very micro concept, 30,000 Korean won. That's essentially the cost of a single everyday lunch. Regardless of how crazy high the coin price surges, the system passionately defends this level 1 entry barrier, keeping it right around that 30,000 KRW mark. It ensures the gateway to the moving walkway is permanently always open to everyone. So we've got a safe, transparent, and totally accessible entry point. Let's transition into Section 3, the 7-stage roadmap. I know, it's a lot of data, but let's break down this simulation. Based on the WOORI coin being valued at 3.1, notice how you start at level 1 with just that 30,000 KRW entry cost we just talked about. The logic here is actually compressed, so things don't get boring. It uses a rapid 3x multiplier for levels 1 through 5 and a 2x multiplier for levels 6 and 7. As your 10-tier matrix fills up below you, which is exactly 2,046 people, you receive 10% from each of them. These expected returns aren't just raw speculative guesses. They represent an undeniable, step-by-step structural roadmap to building real wealth. And that brings us to an absolutely staggering number, 204.6 times expected ROI. Yep, that is over 20,000%. It sounds totally impossible until you look at the math. Because you receive 10% from 2,046 participants in your matrix, the math simply dictates a 204.6x return on your specific level's entry cost. The source material really emphasizes that this isn't a gamble or some wild market prediction. It's a structural right embedded in a fractal system. And the best part, it applies equally to everyone, no matter when they join the network. So, if you're looking for the sweet spot, it's level 4. In the progression we just outlined, Level 4 is the major economic turning point. This is where the moving walkway really shifts into high gear. Reaching this level transitions you from just an everyday participant into a substantial asset holder, unlocking an expected return of over 160 million KRW. This is literally the catalyst level that generates the momentum for the entire organization. And getting onto this walkway is incredibly straightforward. The sources outline 4 super actionable steps for anyone. Step 1. Prepare a crypto wallet like MetaMask and load up a tiny amount of BNB for gas fees. Step 2. Acquire your WOORI tokens, again starting from just level 1. Step 3. Connect your wallet to the DApp, which is simply a fancy term for a secure app running on the blockchain, and make your first give, which instantly sends funds to the 10 tiers above you. And finally, step 4, share your referral code. That step 4 is where the human element really takes over.
Which naturally brings us to section 4, leadership mechanics.
You know how in a lot of decentralized finance projects, whales, wealthy individuals with tons of cash, just buy their way to the top and extract all the value? Well, GNT stops this cold with its anti-whale mechanism. Sure, you can use personal capital to buy your way up to level 5, but the absolute peaks, levels 6 and 7, no way. You are strictly forbidden from using personal funds. You can only advance using the team revenue generated by the organization below you. You literally cannot buy the top spots. You absolutely have to earn them through genuine leadership and cultivating your team.
And how do you cultivate that team? Through the 2 companions rule. The absolute non-negotiable condition to unlock 100% of the revenue from your 10-tier matrix is that you must bring 2 core leaders with you into the system. That's it. It's the fastest catalyst to reach your financial goals. By finding 2 companions who share the vision, you accelerate the matrix, proving that true wealth in this system requires solidarity, not isolation.
Let's see how this all culminates in section 5, noblesse oblige. This is honestly my favorite part. The system has a top tier, the first 15 codes. But those codes do not exist to just enrich 15 random individuals. They practice the ultimate noblesse oblige. 100% of the system revenue from these top 15 codes is given completely back to the community to fuel the moving walkway for everyone below them. The revenue is split right down the middle. 25% to system operations to keep the tech flawless, 25% to official events for motivation, 25% to localized community support, and 25% to scholarships, which is basically seed money to help folks without capital step onto the walkway. The leaders at the top literally pave the way for the people at the bottom.
So we've seen the philosophy, the fully transparent smart contracts, the undeniable mathematical structure of those 7 stages, and the profound community reinvestment at its core. It all comes back to a deeply personal choice. The barrier to entry has been permanently lowered. The structural rights are all mapped out. So the ultimate question is, will you trade the cost of a single meal today for a guaranteed seat on this moving walkway to economic independence? Find your 2 companions and take that step. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.